Our next speaker is from IBM. He's the partner technology advisor at IBM, Prashant Saxena. More than a decade of experience. Is Prashant around? Hi. Okay, so Prashant, I think, started like me. I still continue to do the same stuff with Indian Express base selling, right? Okay, so Prashant, the stage is all yours. After that, he's worked for Eddington, Ingram, Ramco, Dimension Data. He's with IBM right now. He's going to run us through his presentation. Prashant, we're short of time, so okay, but do get your messages across. Thank you. Over to you. Business presentation.
Good evening, everybody. As sir has already told, my name is Prashant, and it's regarding HANA, so I'll definitely go first. So HANA is all about speed. Yeah. So, but before going into like HANA, the technologies and all the insight which is given by, let me pass on this message. And I was planning to say, it's like a cricket match, and a veteran has just gone out whom you have evangelized for your years, and now you are sharing a dice with him. So thanks for Hiren. Like, he was a veteran in IBM, and we learned a lot of things from Hiren, and today we are sharing the dice with him. So thanks to him. So as the name suggests, it's about HANA and it's about the latest technology. So I have used some synonyms over here, like from the latest movies and latest jargons. So there is a movie called Spider-Man, and it says, with great power comes great responsibility. But in IBM we are just reversing it. It's great power comes lesser responsibility. And this presentation will talk about the power systems. And this time my remote is working fine.
Would you like to switch the lights off because otherwise I can't see?
Okay. Yeah, please. Anyway, slides are more like a compliance. I'll do the most of the talking. So it's the flow of the presentation, like understanding what is SAP HANA. So there is a small story of SAP behind it, which covers two parts. One is the technical part, which we are allowed to talk in the forum. One is the business part, which we are not allowed to talk in the forum. So I'll skip that part. One is why HANA on IBM Power Systems, right? Why Power System is good for HANA. Then what are the core advantages of in-memory database on IBM systems, and like the Power Solution Edition for SAP HANA and HANA or Power roadmaps. So these are going to be a technical presentation as per the flow suggests, but I'll make it very simple because I'm a very simple guy. So this is SAP HANA for you. So traditionally any application requires a database, right? But whenever there is a mix of application and database, it creates a lot of space for the community called coders, the consultants, which do the writing and which merge them in between and get the application and database get married, right? So now coming to the HANA story, it's like 40 years HANA, SAP was there. They started well from Germany, and these three gentlemen are from IBM, right? They ruled this ERP market for 40 years. But after 40 years, like every product has its PLC, product life cycle. SAP also got a PLC, and they have not done really great on the innovation front. And after this 40 years, they realized that with every customer they are acquiring, the battle is getting tough, and with every existing customer of theirs, their closest competitor is getting more and more revenue. The reason being, the applications is still there, but the data size is growing, and you know who's the closest competitor of SAP. It's the big R word from USA, right? So database was growing. So they realized that in their past there are three things. One is application, which is owned by them. One is database, which is owned majority by another company, which is their closest competitor. One is hardware, right? And they realized how to increase business and give something new to the customer. So they realized there are three kind of system, which our panel has already talked. These in technical languages are called system of record, which is your structured data, system of insight, which is your business analytics. Now, apart from that, there is new kind of data is required. It is called system of engagement. How we can go and leverage these kind of records and data which is generated to get our customer and understand the pulse of the customer. So SAP decided to build a platform which is analytical oriented and fast in reporting. Right. So they built a system called which is columnar in nature and in memory by architecture. So this is a traditional diagram. When, for example, an ERP environment needs to talk to CRM environment, it has to again do a complete departmental run. Like it's like government. You have to every time have to take sanctions. We have just talked about a few minutes back how sanctions can be difficult, right? So, but in HANA, it is only one department. It is like a startup company, and they will believe in your decisions. It is already proved. So there are two types by how HANA can be deployed. One approach is called, which was when it was introduced, it is called appliance-based approach. The another approach is called TDI-based approach. Appliance-based approach is nothing like a t-shirts. It is ready to use, kind of prefixed, right? You just need to plug and play and get it running. Whereas TDI is, as the name suggests, is tailored data center integration, which is like building a customized environment for you, which is one is pre-certified. That means you get a pre-certified boxes. One is post-certified. So, but it depends what is your kind of infrastructure and what is your business dynamics. Accordingly, you can choose the kind of infrastructure or the kind of architecture you want. So this is the recommendation from SAP. This is directly from SAP. I'll share this kind of slide with you. It's openly available off internet. So these are the recommendations from SAP. If your environment falls in like this category, what is the preferred kind of architecture for you? So though the suspense is already over because of this remote, but I tried to put some creativity over here. So I wanted to ask you, does infrastructure matters, right? So this is a photo of same athlete, you can say, but he is in two different infrastructure, right? One is in Deutsch shoes and one is in Puma running shoes, right? And if it is going to about its performance, then infrastructure does matter. And if I would like to bet on this person, I would like to him on the Puma side. And this is the name of this person. So if he's running his third Olympics, he'll definitely be wearing Puma shoes. So if it is SAP HANA, right? So importance of infrastructure will definitely play a role over here, because application can be fast, but is the infrastructure fast enough to deliver those kind of quickness needed by that application? So this is an acknowledgement slide, right? So a lot of people has a notion that IBM is quite late in SAP HANA system. I just want to bring a notice to on the bottom side, right front, 2015, IBM got the Achievers Award for SAP HANA. So now it's like India-Pakistan match, and are we better or x86 better, right? So this is, I'll start with the benchmarking which is done. So in this match, I'll declare the result first, then I'll tell you the story how the match proceeded. So the result is we won, right? Are some 40 cores delivered more than their 60 cores, 70 cores, and it is on the most resource consuming module of SAP HANA, which is BW, right? It is also available on net, we can Google it. So this is on the application front, and like HANA is delivered in RAM, application is measured in SAPs. What is the per core deliverance by x86 and what is the per core deliverance by power system? So the difference is nothing less than 2x. We deliver 4,700 SAPs per core, and they deliver 2,300 SAPs per core, and that too on a bare metal, right? So HANA is all about in memory, right? So the first question, obvious question will become, how good is our memory, right? I'll show you this thing in this diagram. This on the left hand side is x86 memory, on the right hand side is power memory. So power memory, you can see, is slightly double in size, like me, right? Like 2 humans, right? So The x86 memory is a static memory, which means a single module, right? Whereas on power system, every module has its replica over there. Like one Prashant is not enough, let's give two Prashants, and that one 100% failover. So it is a RAID 10 in memory. No other memory has this kind of functionality in RAID. So for example, if we give you 512 GB RAM, so technically we are physically giving you 1 terabyte of RAM to run 512 GB RAM. So this is the biggest difference, because SAP is completely in memory. It does not go to your storage. It does not seek anything from your storage. If memory is fast, if memory is robust, your system will go and perform better. So this is head-on comparison on, we have dissected the components of server and what is the differentiation. So the first level comes at compute level. Compute level is measured in gigahertz. So faster the gigahertz, the better is the performance, right? So on the right hand most side, it is PowerAid, and in somewhere in between it is Ivy Bridge E7, which is the latest. So on compute core gigahertz speed, we are faster. They delivered 2.6 gigahertz in practicality, and we delivered 3.5 gigahertz in practicality, and other processors are basically for benchmarking. There are two kind of processor. One is for, it's like hathi ke daant, dikhane ke aur khane ke aur. So the next thing comes, which is the first place where a processor seeks a data from. It is cache. That means the bigger the cache, the better the performance, right? So cache is divided into L1, L2, L3. So wait, but IBM has one layer of cache also, which is L4 cache. No other technology, no other processor of this world got L4 cache. So in totality, they got some 96 MB of cache, whereas IBM is 230 MB of cache. So almost 2.3 times of cache, right? That makes it quite faster. Now comes what is, okay, cache is fast, you've got to figure cache, your RAM is robust, you've got 2 RAMs. But what is the data speed from RAM to processor? Data is crunching fast, they need faster data. So data transfer from RAM to processor is, they transfer their data with 96 Gbps per second, and in IBM system it transferred at 230 Gbps per second. So in fact we have done a lot of R&D. This particular box is particularly made for applications like big data, analytics and HANA, where processor needs faster data flow and from all the channels. So this is the trend on x86 front, right? Their performance and their core speed has gone down, whereas IBM system has, their performance came up, and this is by the sources are available at the back side of it. This is SAP benchmarked. So system is running fast and we are getting result, but business needs reliability also. There are a few people in sales which comes and deliver good, but they don't stay in this organization. So they want consistent sales people, right? So these are called REST features. If you see, we have talked about REST features, which is about how good a system will perform when a problem is there, right? So you can see we have divided the REST feature on the application front, system front, processor front, memory front, and iOS front. So IBM is a REST processor, right? Everywhere, like light partition mobility, with due to time constant, I cannot go deep into each and every column, but few things which I would like to highlight, like light partition mobility. For example, if your one partition goes down, it will dynamically move to the another light partition, which is not available on x86. You can do a sparing of your RAM. That means if your RAM goes down, it will automatically be taken by another RAM, right? Which is not available in x86 system. So if you are evaluating specifically SAP HANA, this can be cheat sheet for you. The biggest cheat sheet is, it is irrespective of size of the HANA box. You cannot run multiple production system in a single physical hardware. Whereas IBM is approved and certified to run 3 physical and production instances in a single hardware. We are talking about consolidation, but again we are introducing a box, tons of boxes, and not utilizing it fully. What does 4 GB memory in place will do when your business will not grow to 4 GB without introducing the new modules. Your existing module will not go to 4 TB, right? And this is like a comparison. Even if you want to try to do virtualization, this thing is not possible, right? Again, but it is a cheat sheet kind of thing. We can do a one-to-one discussion on these points because it will become very time-consuming activity, right? But still, it's a snapshot of it, and it will suggest that virtualization of HANA is still a myth if by using a hypervisor. It is not actually fully supported by SAP HANA. So this is a summary of the complete show, which is like we are 4x in the memory, few x in cache, a better reliability. So I wanted to end this thing with a small message from somebody from SAP itself. It's a small video, right?
We're really excited about the market adoption of IBM Power Systems on HANA. We've seen just a fantastic reaction from customers, the performance they've seen, the ability to create business value out of this technology. We couldn't be more happy with the market response from our customers. SAP has made a significant investment in the development of IBM Power Systems, which gives us skin in the game because we believe in the technology. In December, we announced virtualization capability for IBM Power Systems on HANA, which enables a customer to run 4 different instances of HANA on one IBM Power System. So rather than buying lots of different systems to run multiple applications of HANA, the capability is there to enable you to do that with one system for simplicity. IBM Power Systems and SAP HANA together create tremendous differentiation for our customer base to help them run their business in real time. We are absolutely thrilled with the response to the IBM Power Systems and SAP partnership. Our customers have adopted this technology since we launched it, and they're using it and creating real business value.
With this, the compute part is open, so I have skewed out my storage part, and fortunately enough, there is a person who is a worldwide expert of storage. He was there in Gujarat. So I would like to take that storage portion by him. He's just an expert of it, and he's a local Gujarati also. So Puchet, please.
Thanks, Prashant. So we have heard a lot of stuff about data. We have heard a lot of things against data over here. So it's like storage. When we talk about storage, it's more we talk about capacity. We talk about a bit of performance, but we never discuss in detail about what the performance, what we can get from the storage perspective. So we talked about application runs faster, we talk about analytics and all, but how, if my data will not come faster to compute, how I can deliver it? So that's a big question. Second, on a panel we heard a lot of things about unstructured data, structured data, data growth, technology changing so fast, how I'll accommodate that. So I said every 3 years they're changing it. So as IBM we say, why you change it? Don't change it. We'll coexist, whatever your investment you did, whether with IBM or not with IBM, we are still okay with that and we can help you on that perspective. So in terms of storage, it's a big portfolio. What we talked today about is more about a flash, where we are different from whomsoever available in the market as of now. Okay, so we talked about that how the faster performance will come to you, and when we talked about your requirements come from within the organization or there is external forces will force you to change your infrastructure. Why? Because you require faster performance, because it is more about a business enabler rather than you just facilitate the business. So at IBM we try to help you that how IT or how your infrastructure will help IT to enable to business rather than just facilitate to business. So we all know that talking about mobile banking, unstructured data, structured data and all, the kind of data growth you have. So one is a data growth. Second, how fast you reach to your customer. That is the second thing. We always, whenever we talk about storage, we always talk about the growth. We never talk about how fast you reach to your customer. Here we have answered that how faster you can reach to your customer, how a storage or IT will be enabler to a business. So these are the problem, or I think this is the ideal stage where everyone would like to go, like fast applications. We talk about performance and all. Where it is really possible, there are certain answers will come, no, it is not possible because of technology. At IBM, we are saying, no, it's possible. Yes, you have to change your mindset. You have to start the conversion coming out of the shoes what you are wearing currently. Change that. You can do that also. So, whenever you have a problem, the simple answer is add memory. If you require performance, if you require more capacity, add the hard disk, add CPUs, tune and modify the applications. They are the standard answer what we have. By doing this, what you are doing, you are creating a lot of silos. You are buying something from my ex-friend, then from my wife friend. You are not considering myself. Why? So what happens? You are in that particular mindset that you have got a lot of information about that particular industry or that particular OEM, and you are not coming out of that. What we are talking about, or request, what Prashant has also urged to all of you is, let's start discussing. We are not talking that please buy from me. We are saying please at least discuss with us. By doing that, you will understand what are the new infrastructure available, which will help you to answer your business, to enable IT as an enabler for the business. So today due to a time and what the agenda we have, I'm not talking more on a capacity perspective, but on a performance perspective, how storage is helping currently from IBM. So whenever you talk to any of the OEM, if you talk about flash, yes, they say yes we have, and you start working on that. Yes, this is what the capacity we are looking on a flash perspective. What we are seeing, there is a very big difference between flash and SSDs, how they cascade it. So any of your SSDs, yes, it is a flash device, but the way it is emulated to use, it is not a flash device. It is again a backend with a SAS. So I have, so it's like I have 4 lanes, but when I'm coming out of that road, I have only 1 lane. So obviously my performance will not be that. What we are talking about, don't worry about it, we'll manage that. What we are doing is, we are using flash card itself, putting on a putting on a motherboard itself. So we are giving that kind of performance. We are not talking about InfiniBand and all that things as of now, because we have removed that. We came one step ahead of that. We are putting memory modules itself. It's a micro latency module what we are talking about. Now second question will come, if you are putting micro latency module, what kind of RAS features you are talking about that? So when any SSD fails, it is on a page level. We are having redundancy on a page level. So whatever you are getting from me, it's not a size what you are talking about. I am giving you 30-40% more capacity. That is not for your use, but for the RAS features what you need to give. Now you will say, obviously it is costly. I'll say yes, it is costly. There is no doubt about it. But what kind of benefit it gives you? You name any of the BFSI as of now, the leaders, they all use this. There is a reason behind that, why they use it. When you're talking about search reduce, you're talking about, you have very limited window to answer it. When I'm talking about BFSI, they have very limited window to answer back to that customer. Whatever transaction happened, that has to reflect also. So there is very limited window to work on that. So it is not about a capacity. It is not about the faster device. It is more about latency. What I can bring down. If I'm using SSD, yes, at certain level I'll bring it down. But at what level? It is in milliseconds. What I'm talking about is microseconds. If you just do a simple maths of milli to micro, I'm talking about more than exponential benefit on performance itself. So non-volatile, that's on a RAS perspective we are talking about, very low power, integrated, and there are a lot of options available. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about, the difference what you are having. On your right hand side you have SSDs, which you normally use, which people talk as a flash. It is not a flash, it is SSDs. There's a name given to it, SSD is not a flash. What you over here talking about, it's a micro latency module, which is a flash. If you ask me, any of my competitor has it. Yes, one or two has it, but not the way we are doing it, or not the way customers looking at it. I'm not giving you a direct attached storage. I'm giving you as a SAN fabric. You can use on a SAN perspective. So you can use multiple compute devices can attach to it rather than a one or two devices. So this is what we are talking about. So whatever we say, like millisecond to microsecond, how we are doing it. So whenever you talk about processing time of the data, so maybe we both are taking same time because it's running on that particular device itself, which is a flash within SSD or latency module. But when it is talking back to the total I/O time waiting, because it So request comes to a compute, that will goes to a SAN fabric to a storage and reverse back. So what time we are talking about at different level of that. So this is what the quick analysis, what normally you get on HDD or on SSD's perspective, which is almost 5 milliseconds. So whether you buy traditional storage even from IBM also, yes, we give this only. But when you are talking about a flash storage, when you are talking about your core, where you require that performance, where you have the limited window of time and you have to do multiple transactions. Yes, this particular machine is used for that only. It is not used for just for a data perspective. It is more on how IT will enable the business. So what we are talking about? So we are talking about all your tier 0 applications which require faster performance. I'll run on this, and then I'll do the tiered. And I can help you in, I'll help you in terms of the tiering of the data. So I'll not use the most expensive devices for that, and I can segregate the way business is looking for that. So whenever we do this kind of a discussion in any of the big BFSI, it is not only IT we talk about. We need to talk to the operations guys also, because the kind of RAS features we are talking about and the kind of we are talking about performance. So business has to be involved into this. As sir mentioned that technology is costly. Yes, it is costly if you used in certain manner. Yes, it is costly. But if you have that, if you do that analysis, or if you give that confidence to your, I'm not saying vendor, a partner. A vendor will just give you one box, where partner will give you a solution. So we would like to come to that level where we can help you in understanding what you are looking for that next 10 years, and how whatever you invest with me or somebody else, you already invested, how I'll help you on that. So there are a lot of things we are doing in and around about flash or on storage, which I'll just give a brief on that also. So we are talking about uptime. So as I mentioned, we are giving 30% extra capacity in itself. So it will give you that REST features. So uptime we are committing in that perspective. We are talking about data reduction technologies, how you can use deduplication, compression, and we are the one who will suggest you on all your production use compression, because I don't have overhead for that, because I already inbuilt that particular overhead. Whatever overhead you will get, already inbuilt for that. So I'm very proactive in what I'm giving to you. It's not about reacting instance where you will come say, I have this problem now, so I'll say add some more SSDs. I'm not doing that. So we already keep these capacities to help you in terms of when you are talking about reliability as a feature, or when you are talking about performance as a feature. So I'm not going deep into this, but there are a lot of uniqueness what we have. The way we said like SSD, difference between SSD and flash. Then within the flash, what we are doing it to give you that benefit. There are a lot of technology advantage what we have, which will help you in terms of variable type rate. Then we are talking about two-dimensional rate. So each module have their own redundancy, and across the modules we have the redundancy. So I'm talking about two-dimensional rate over here. So it's pre-built things. You don't have to worry about I'm doing RAID 5, RAID 10 and all that things. That headache I'm taking too, because I'm the guy who knows better how to run storage. I have that capability. We have that R&D and all that we are doing every day. So over here we are trying to segregate who is best, who can do that activity. You are best at running your business, please do so. We are best at running the underlying infrastructure. So please allow us to do that. And there is a partner who will come and do this engagement together. So
I'm just giving you a brief about what portfolio we have. So we have something called FS900, which is my Flash System 900, which is a device which will give you just a performance. A 2U box will give you 1.1 million IOPS. To simplify, 11 lakhs of IOPS. Just a 2U box. Capacity will range from 12 TB to 57 odd TB on a flash. And then we are talking about micro latency. With latency I can go till 200 microseconds, which nobody else can think of also. Then we have something called A9000, then we have V9000. So FS900 is a base box. On that, if you require any data services, I have V9000. And you can, as Prashant mentioned earlier, all size will not fit to everyone, right? So you have to have a different sizes also. So you can define the way you want to have. But still, if you say no, as we are a very mature IT, I understand what my requirements is. You give me appliance for it, I can do that also. So my A9000R are appliance, which will pre-built come with certain capacity, the way we want, and it will come with the data reduction on all the data services what you're looking for. So the difference between three boxes, FS900 is just a bunch of flash system which will give you the performance. V9000 will give you that liberty that you can define the way you want to grow and data services on top of it. And A9000 are appliances. So you will get everything pre-bundled, you just have to use it. So these are the three basic differences between these. Use cases across the industries, no issues. When you're talking about all the OLTP load, all the transactions load, where you're looking for low latency and higher IOPS, we are there. You name, as I mentioned, you name a BFSI, the BFSI or any payment gateway, we are there. All your bill payment, what you're doing, your bill desk, they use these boxes, both on DC and DR, just to give that kind of performance to the customer. And the kind of a growth you're talking about a bill desk and anybody else, you can understand the kind of difference what they have. Why? Because whenever you do any transaction, you require that faster performance. If I'm not able to give that on your mobile, I'll go to somebody else. I don't care for it because I'm not getting any benefit whether I'm doing through bill desk or somebody else, right? So how they get the business? Faster the performance. So go to market. So let's say when we discussed about you have a capacity requirement, then you have to wait for 3 months and all. Why? Why don't you use certain technologies available on a software layer? Use that and give that performance. You can delay your requirement of your capacity by doing that. So when we are talking about whether we work with these giants, yes. So when we are talking about SAP, which is on SAP HANA, when we are talking about, so yes, compute will give that in memory, but what after that? When you're doing about analytics, when you're doing reporting and all that, what? When you're talking about how that storage will happen, that perspective. Oracle, SQL servers, DB2, obviously it is a own organization, so it will make a lot of difference. Then we're talking about Flash System ecosystem partner. So we work with all of that. So we don't have that rigidness in terms of whether I can work with this, whether it's certified or not. So all my storages, so across IBM, all the storages what we have, all are certified for running for SAP HANA. So you don't have to worry on that perspective. So now when we talk, so I just added this particular 2 slides very last moment because the kind of discussion we had outside that we are talking about the data growth. Yes, you can buy a capacity, you have to wait for that because it's a physical movement of the particular machine or physical movement of that particular device to come to your location. But what if I can give you that on a software perspective? So there are 6 kind of a software what we have, which we will talk about the Spectrum as a family, which will help you to do that all. So these are the 6 one, what are you talking about? So we talked about Spectrum Control. You buy any IBM product or non-IBM product, if you want to manage from a single window, I can do that. When you're talking about Protect, it is nothing other than a Tivoli, which is giving you the backup and archival solutions. There is Spectrum Archive, which is more on a file system. We are the one who can give you that easiness when you want to move your data from tier 0 to tier 4 or tier 5. So when I'm saying tier 0 to tier 4, it's Flash, SAS, SAS, NLSS, and even if you want to move on a tape, you can automate all of that. You don't have to worry about that or to which level, which data will need to go there. If you define it, you can do that automatically. So you don't have to worry on that as well. Then we are talking about Spectrum Virtualize, which is more help you when you have already invested in my friends and you want to use them along with me. I can do that. You don't have to manage these two boxes separately. I'm the one who will virtualize all of them and give you a single window where you can, whenever you want any capacity from any of their devices, you can do that. You don't have to worry about whether it is one particular EMC box is running your SAP and other box is doing something else, and you want to have capacity from that on your month end on an HR perspective, you can do that. You don't have to worry about that. I don't have resources over there. Then we are talking about the Spectrum Accelerate, which is nothing but we have a XIV as a product earlier, which is hardware based grid architecture. NLSAS is giving you the kind of performance what SAS or SSD is giving. So we took that on our software also. Then we are talking about Spectrum Scale, which is more about a general parallel file system. So that is what we are saying, that if you want to move that data from tier 0 to tier 4 and you require a single file system for that, we are available. It's available that also. So I just want to give you one thought when I'm leaving this dais is, please talk to us or talk to our partners. There are a lot of things which is happening and maybe not reach to you because you are in that particular one frame as of now. Please come out of the frame. You'll get a lot of benefits. I'm not saying invest something in new, but yes, whatever you invested as of now, how you can coexist with the new investment. Or you don't have to worry about that what kind of phase out scrap mechanism I need to have across my infrastructure from year 0 to year 10. We can help you on that also. So there are a lot of technologies available where you don't have to buy physical capacities. You can reuse whatever you have. Yeah. So any questions on that perspective, you can come back to us on our networking. Yeah, fine with that. Thanks.
Thank you, Prajit. I'd like to call Sudhir Kundar again on stage to hand over memento to Prashant. Where is Prashant? Come, Prashant, once please. To Prashant as well as. Thank you. Folks, you guys have been a very good audience. Thank you. Okay. Patience, but we were the best part coming at the end. Before that, are you guys tweeting? No hands going up. Guys, the gifts will just get wasted. And again, to remind you all that the feedback forms are in your bag. Please, fill them and collect your VR boxes after the event. Our last speaker for the day is a very illustrious one. I've got his profile. It's a brief profile. I'm tempted to kind of read it. Okay. But because we're running short of time, I'm not going to read out the whole thing. Dr. Vipin Kumar is the Chief Innovation Officer and Director at the National Information Foundation, which is an autonomous body of Department DST, Government of India. Dr. Kumar, come here. I'd like to read a few things about him. He's published over 70 research papers in the journals and national of international repute. He commercialized over 30 products based on grassroots innovations through various companies. To leverage the uniquely frugal and empathetic models of innovation developed in India, Dr. Kumar coordinates the festivals of innovation at the President's House, the Rashtrapati Bhavan, during March. NIF organized FOIN in collaboration with the President's House. And lastly, Dr. Kumar is a member of various prestigious committees of the Department of Biotech, Protection of Plant Variety and Farmers' Rights Acts, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, Indian Council of Medical Research, National Biodiversity Authority, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium MSME, Government of India, US India Science and Technology. So very illustrious this. I can't even read it, and you've been through all of it. I'm going to hand over the stage to you. I promise you this session is going to be great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Today I'm listening the various presentations, and it's a great opportunity for me also to listen the people who are from IT background. My background is a bit different. I'm a scientist, basically a biotechnologist, but now managing the innovations since last 1 decade. You have seen that lots of innovations are happening in every area. You are seeing the banking sector, you are seeing other sectors, but you know that when you see the government perspective, you will find the country is different. So here, what we are seeing, it is a rosy picture, but when you go to India, countries like this, so where is the transformation? In fact, though mobile is there in everybody's hand, things are transforming in many sectors, but there is a need to do for the community people, to our Indian brothers and sisters, when this kind of situation is there, only science and technology cannot change it. We need the intervention of information technology, we need the help of you people. And when you go to industry, large industry is different, but you go to small and medium and teeny industries, 70% of them are not having their websites. Where is the networking? So it is not there that it cannot be done. First step is to identify a problem. If we are unable to identify the problem, then we cannot do anything. If we identify the problem, then solution is there. Many times we do not want to work on these problems because they are less relevant. It is not my portfolio, or I can work on that. It is not impressible. If I don't do, then who will do it? Grossly undermobilized, or they are having the large numbers. You go to any part of the country, you will find different kind of problems. And there is not even a single portal in India or in anywhere where all these problems are there. If you identify a problem, you have the solution. IRCTC, earlier that long queues were there actually, and now because of IRCTC, particularly in railway, which is not a very organized sector. Everybody know that what is the condition of railway. Even they are not having good compartment coaches, they are not having good platforms. But because of this, platform, IRCTC, people's life have been changed. And you know how many people, this is the data from Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, that in 2013-14, 8.39 billion people have got the benefit of this portal. I think it is a huge thing. And in government sector, one thing is, for sure that you cannot afford the, mistakes. If any problem will there, if IRCTC sell a ticket to anybody, and if he found that his name is not there in reservation slip, then it would be a big mess. So managing a company where 5,000, 10,000 employees are there, it's different. But managing the whole nation, providing the service to the whole nation, and when particularly you are there in a government sector, it's really different, and government cannot work alone. I think you people have to think their problem as your problem, and I feel that this informative session should be there for bureaucrats, for scientists, for policy makers, so that they could be able to think that these solutions can solve their problems also. Another thing you see, the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. It was very difficult. People are living in extremely remote areas. So they are, if we ask them to come and open their accounts, but accounts for what? Lots of subsidies are going, and when it is going through middlemen, then definitely the chances of corruptions are there. But when your own account is there and it is directly going to your own account, then probably the chances of corruptions are less. So this is one step. Many people are criticizing this initiative. They are saying that some of the accounts are dormant. If the person is not operating, then what will happen after 1 year? But every beginning is not a perfect beginning. Best should not be the enemy of better. So we have to take initiative like that, and when we will identify problem here, then probably we will be able to overcome those, and probably will have a better tomorrow. So data explosion, we are listening. There is a problem and a potential solution, transportation through next-gen data center. This is the theme of this seminar. If you see this slide, the huge increasing volume of data, these are the Google searches per year. 120 billion, hits on Google in 2012. Now it is an old slide. Now it must be, huge. So everybody is putting, information on the, Google or their portals. And many, because it is a big search engine and everybody want to do the Google. And many times we are so used to of this Google, when we, suppose if I missed my mobile phone, I would try that I could be able to find on Google. It is not possible. But we are so used to of these technologies, we try to find each and everything through, these kind of search engines. And this is not unfair, it is fair in fact, because quite often we get the information. But it is also, you need certain intelligence to get the appropriate information. Because lots of junk information is also there. The duplication is also there. The other problems are also there. People are uploading, people are downloading. So sometime we have to have those smart, websites, some smart portals, or some smart ways, so that we could be able to get the smart, information, appropriate information of our requirement. And why you see that there is a sudden jump in the, search. It is not there that suddenly people become, so aware, because of the technology. There is called as leapfrogging technology, and because people have been shifted from landline to mobile, and people now from to mobile phones. So when everybody got the mobile phone, then the maximum hits are there from your phones, then your computer or laptop, or from other devices. And now because the 3G, 4G, 2G is there in every part of the country, and you find that people, particularly the students, younger generation, they are used to it, and they try to get the data. They get the data also, definitely. See, this is the growth of subscriber. You all are aware of it. So this is how we can going to solve the problem. Can we challenge the growth of data? Absolutely not. Every day new things are happening. Every day new things are there on the internet. It cannot be possible. And many times when we see that who is the leader and who is the follower. So you see in your organization how much data you have uploaded and how much data you have downloaded. If you have uploaded more, then you are the leader. If you are downloaded more, which is in India what is happening, in any institution, in any company you go, they download more data than they upload. Definitely they cannot be the leader. So if you really want to be a leader, you have to take lead, and you cannot challenge the growth of data. Absolutely not. And we need more data. In fact, for many things, data is still not there on, and right data is not there. Managing growth of data, yes, no, definitely. Normalizing the data, you can clean it, you can make it more. Or by avoiding duplication and innovating such, the data is relevant every time we deal with it. That is more important. That is the challenge before all of us. I'll share my, one of my activity. We found that lots of students are doing lots of projects in the country, but there is no two universities which pool all the projects of UG and PG and put on one portal. And we found one study there where they compared the BTech program of IIT Madras with the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and it was revealed that 2.8 equivalent years of MIT is equivalent to this 4 years of IIT Madras. Though IIT teach more courses, but this is the study. But IIT Madras is a premier institute of this country. Then what about when the thousands of engineering institutions, management institutions are there? What about those? And if you can calculate, then 48 million human months equivalent time of students used less rather than use less while they are in the campuses. It is happening. What they are doing in fact? They are seeing the projects of their seniors and they are doing the same thing. One gentleman said here that we are not getting the quality manpower. How we will get the quality manpower? Many times we see that we proudly say that we are a young nation. It is a matter of pride, or we fail to control our population growth. We have to think it seriously. And if for everything, whether it is science, technology, whether it is information technology, whether it is philosophy, history, the people will come from here. If we will not train them properly, if we will not give the real problems of the society or industry to them, then definitely they can move to the network. So a small initiative we have taken and made one portal. We are not professional like you, but definitely 3 things we put on this Techpedia.in. We asked institutions to put their UG and PG theses on projects on this portal. We asked companies to put their problems, and we searched the problems of the society, so that when the student is doing the prior art search, he could also see what are the problem of society or industry is having, so that they could take the real problem of that. When we started this, and many people said, are you mad? Who is going to share his thesis with you? IP is involved here. Listen, definitely IP is involved, but they didn't know to share each and everything. The comments came that if you see the thesis of Stanford and MIT, they are also not together. How in the country like India, everything will be together? We did meetings in many institutions, many universities, IITs, and we found that in 2 years' time, over 250,000 projects are uploaded by students on this portal, and thousands of problems initially by small industry. Now if you go, you'll find the problem of L&T also, you'll find the problem of other institutions also. And because of this initiative, because of this portal, because of the support of people like you, 200 patents were filed jointly by industry and academia, without spending even a single penny from the government side. People have approached to the company because many times the small company, they were unable to afford the fee of a professional, and they came together, they did work, and they found that some IP is involved here, and because of that, that is the thing. Then when you convince to the government, you are seeing that this is the secretary of our Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. We announced that we will support the ideas, and we have announced a scheme where we will give 15 lakh support on the ideas itself, and here we are giving support to to the technological students, because one idea, good idea, is more powerful than beautifully looking prototypes, and this could happen because of the IT intervention, because of the proper data management, through portals. Otherwise, physically, it is not possible. Many times they did some research, they found but we have not reached to them. I think it is- Can you press next? You know, this is one interesting example. A student work in DICT, he developed one technology. You know, when he developed that technology, no portal was there. So he was unable to convince to the people. He couldn't reach to the people. Then he, went to UC Berkeley, he worked on that. But because of this portal, one trust, Sharda Trust in Ahmedabad again, they found that this technology is applicable to people. They were physically challenged people, in fact, and it was basically a navigation system, fitted in a cycle, this wheelchair for physically challenged people, and then this technology came back to the Sharda Trust in Ahmedabad. Then definitely it would change the policies. Many institutions, whether it is VIT, Karnataka, or in Punjab Technological Universities, because of this single change, in fact, they have changed their policy that in research they will adopt the COCO model, COCO relay race, in fact. So one person stop here and second person will run from here. So earlier, when these kind of databases were not there, this kind of support system were not there, they didn't have the scope to do the proper prior search, and then what they are doing, that they are taking a problem from where one student left, because the student cannot be there in a academic institution for long. So a COCO kind of model is adopted by many institutions, and this database is this portal is providing a support to them. This is a award function, in fact, where we have given support to the ideas. One other thing is, when idea is there or innovation is there, whether in information technology, whether in data centers, whether in science technology, then there has to be an incentive. I'm a firm believer of that. So what to do? How to celebrate that? Then we convinced our president. He asked to organize a festival of innovation in Mughal Garden when it is open to the public. And we asked the innovators from diverse background to come and showcase their technologies there. Many, not exactly the IT companies, but medical devices where IT, was fitted. So they have showcased, and many of the, entrepreneurs came and taken. Venture capitalists were also there. So it's a full event. It is not just to showcase their technology. The award function is also there for rural innovators, grassroots innovators. The president give the award to them. President will visit and will interact with the innovators. And what we did, in fact, we requested our president, and he agreed that there has to be an innovation scholar in residence program. And this is first time in this country. Not anywhere in the world you will find it. When the innovators from various backgrounds will come and stay in Rashtrapati Bhavan for 15 days. And they will be connected to the right ministry, to the right industry, to the right institutions, so that they could carry a message that this country is, caring, this country care the innovators, this country care the innovations, and a due recognition should go to them. In this, we are also supporting the student innovators, whether it is a student or whether it is a, company person or whether it is technological student. And you see that how informal environment our president is creating there actually. I think no incentive can be better to a individual innovator than this kind of environment. Lots of roundtables are also there. It is also necessary that when we talk about the inclusivity, so roundtables on inclusive innovations, roundtable on government initiatives, in fact, like Swachh Bharat, Make in India, Made in India, all kind of things. Medical science and biotechnology, and what we will do, that in the last session, what is the outcome, it would be shared with the president. So That is also the thing. Then for school students, you know, innovations may not always come from the big industry. It may come from school students also, you know. And our former president, Dr. Kalam, asked us to organize a competition, Ignite competition, in 2008. I worked very closely with him, and he said that till I'm alive, I'll give award to the students. And 2008 to 2014, he came and gave the award to the school students. Various kind of innovations in every area, in every domain, you know. And, you know, they were coming, and when in 2015, when Dr. Kalam was not there, then we thought that who can be the substitute of Dr. Definitely no one can be there. So we requested again our president, and here we go. Which program, He came and in Ahmedabad and giving the awards to the school students. Many type of smart, and IT was also enabled in that, their technology sometimes. So many gave us, and this is my, the last slide. Again, you know, Prime Minister has announced that the children's ideas will go to the Startup India program also. Without, you know, data centers, without proper data management, this kind of programs can never be announced. And he said that there are 5 lakh schools in the country, and we will take 2 ideas from every school of the country, and 1 lakh ideas will be given a cash of 5,000 rupees. 5,000 is not important, but you know, selection from 10 lakh to 1 lakh, you know how many experts you need. Physically it is not possible. This kind of schemes have become possible because of IT interventions, and you know, here 1 lakh to 1 lakh innovations will give a cash support, and it would reach directly to their account. So we have to open their accounts also, because in many cases school students do not have their accounts. And again another struggle, that many banks are not having the 16-digit account numbers, and we have to transfer it through direct beneficiary transfer, DBT, and through DBT they only recognize the 16-digit. So we are struggling. I'm saying that start is a perfect start, but definitely start has to be from somewhere. So in government system, you know, when something fails, out of those 1 lakh, I'm sure that few thousand will fail, and from most of them, one RTI will also come. So we have to we have to address that also. And in government system, you know, one of my friends said that it is very difficult to work with government, but it is also difficult to work in government, because lots of things are there. In fact, every time a letter is going to Prime Minister House, a letter is going to President, sir, injustice with me, you see, and the letter is coming from there. So we have to do the innovations, and only the data management, a proper kind of portals, involvement of information technology can only solve the problems of government also. Otherwise, this kind of programs in government also, it is not possible now. It is, and I'll not take much time. So I say that we have to have 4 things. One is creativity, knowledge, innovation, and incentive. Everything is important. Creativity counts, knowledge matters, innovation transform, and incentive inspire. Thank you very much.
I'd like to call Arvind Saxena on stage to hand over the memento. Thank you, Dr. Kumar. Gentlemen, end of the evening. Okay, you guys have been a wonderful audience. We've actually got 4 events running today, and I was just informed by Gopal that there are 2 more sessions to go. I promise you. So, but you guys have been a much better audience, and that's a government event that we're doing with Microsoft. Okay, so end of the evening. Just a reminder that the Twitter contest is on, so keep tweeting, and you can tweet until 7 p.m. on the 19th. And the feedback form is in this. There are lovely VR boxes, so please fill the feedback form, hand them over at the registration desk, and please collect your VR boxes. Dinner is served. Unfortunately in the city I can't say, or in the state I can't say. The bar is open. I wish it was, but it's not. One last little thing. Some of you had agreed for video bites. Okay, so is Lionel in the room? Lionel, can you come up front? Okay. So Lionel is my editorial colleague from Bombay, and he's doing the video bites on the left side of the room. So the names I have here are, pending are Jignesh Parekh, Pankaj Srivastava, Dr. Kumar. We'd like to take some video bites of yours. Also, other customers who would like to, give some video bites. There is a green checkered board of SIFI on that side, so please just feel free. Lionel, you can also, network a little and, take consent and then, do this. Thanks. Now, having said that, once again, the Twitter thing is going to be open until the 19th. And please collect your VR boxes after handing over the feedback forms. Dinner is open. Thank you very much. I have nothing more to say. I don't want to hold dinner from any of you. Good night and hope to see you soon again. Thanks.